Today I'm making Huckleberry Einkorn Cobbler. There are certain recipes that one bite brings back memories. For me, Huckleberry Cobbler is one of those. Every year, when the huckleberries ripen on the mountains, it feels like an invitation to pause, gather the older kids, climb up the mountain, and celebrate summer's abundance. This year, I decided to make Huckleberry Einkorn Cobbler. Let's talk about the jewel of summer in the Pacific Northwest, huckleberries. Huckleberries bring brightness, tiny bursts of tart, sweet, wild flavor. For me, huckleberries are the very definition of summer. Their flavor is more complex and intense than blueberries. I love them so much more than blueberries. They have a balance of tang and sweetness that makes them perfect for desserts, cobblers, jams, and pies. Growing up, huckleberry picking was a summer tradition. My family would pack up the car and we would head up to the mountains with friends where we'd spend the day filling buckets with these little purple gems. Currently, I'm seeing huckleberries listed for about $60 to $80 a gallon. The work is very slow picking these. Our fingers always get stained by the berries, but the reward is always worth it. Of course, if you don't live near wild huckleberry mountains or patches, blueberries do make a good substitute. They're similar, and while their flavor is quite a bit milder, they're still delicious in a cobbler, especially when baked with einkorn's nutty crumble topping. And I decided to use the einkorn kind of on a whim, but the result was nothing short of heavenly. All right, if you've never baked with einkorn, you're in for a treat. Einkorn is considered the world's most ancient wheat, cultivated over 12,000 years ago. Unlike modern wheat, which has been heavily hybridized, einkorn has remained largely unchanged, with a simpler genetic structure that makes it easier for many people to digest. But beyond its health benefits, what really caught us was the flavor. It has a naturally rich, nutty, almost buttery taste that elevates baked goods in a way that regular all-purpose flour simply doesn't touch. When used in this cobbler or in muffins or breads, I found that einkorn adds a depth that makes even a humble dessert taste over the top special. Einkorn is also packed with nutrients, higher in protein and essential minerals like iron, zinc, and magnesium than modern wheat. It contains a wealth of antioxidants and lutein, which make it a more wholesome choice for everyday baking. When I make something as indulgent as cobbler, it is nice to know the base of the recipe has real nourishment to offer, especially when I'm making it as a breakfast food. Einkorn is a little more on the spendy side. I buy ours at Azure Standard. There will be a printable version of this recipe on the website for you, so you can just go and print it. But for here, I will tell you what's in it, or the ingredients. You want to start with your berry topping. So 6 cups of huckleberries, you could use blueberries, a cup of sugar, 3 teaspoons of lemon juice, that's about 1 lemon, 6 tablespoons of arrowroot powder, and you want to bring that to a simmer on the stove. You want to make sure it doesn't burn, and you also want to make sure that you get all the lumps out as you're stirring. You don't want that arrowroot to gel up. It's a lot like cornstarch. You could actually use cornstarch. We use arrowroot because one of my children is not supposed to have corn. Once that's done, just turn the heat off and let it sit while you mix the cobbler. Preheat the oven to 400 before you start the cobbler. For the cobbler, it's a half a cup of shortening or butter, and it is best if it is chilled. 3 cups of einkorn flour, 1/2 cups of sugar, 3.5 tablespoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and you just mix this up. Something fun I like to do with my cobbler is I like to put the cobbler down first and the berries on top. I saw my English step-grandmother do it that way one time, and I thought it tasted so good like that, so that's how I started doing it. I know it's supposed to be the other way around, but it really is good this way. You might try it. Don't knock it until you've tried it. As the cobbler bakes, the fruit bubbles up through the golden crust, infusing every bite with summer sweetness. The topping is tender yet hearty, with satisfying texture that you just don't get from modern wheat flour. Beyond the taste, there's something deeply meaningful to me about making a dessert that connects past and present. Einkorn connects us to the earliest traditions of bread making and nourishment. Huckleberries connect me to childhood summers and now give me the joy of sharing these same memories with my own children. Food never has to be just food. Food can hold a story, a memory, and a legacy. This Huckleberry Einkorn Cobbler, I hope it becomes more than a dessert for my children. I hope it's a way of honoring both tradition and place. A reminder of long summer days in the mountains, laughs, baskets filled with berries, and the simple beauty of gathering to share something homemade. I felt like the pairing of huckleberries and einkorn was pure magic, though. The berries' bright tang, it played beautifully against the warm, earthy notes of the flower. Whether you have access to wild huckleberries or simply pick up a pint of blueberries from the market, I encourage you to try this cobbler with einkorn flour. You will taste the difference immediately. Rich, nutty, tangy, sweet. It's the flavor of summer, served warm with a scoop of ice cream, and it's one I'll keep baking for years to come.